Hello, WaTech. This is the first of what will be weekly or bi-weekly video updates where I spent a few minutes just trying to give you the latest news and what's going on in the legislature, answer whatever questions that you might have, and acknowledge the big wins that our organization is regularly having. So this is an idea that communications has brought up as a way to get more information out to everybody in the organization. So we're going to try it, and please give us your feedback. So first I wanted to talk about a security incident that happened last Wednesday. I know not everybody got a chance to do the debrief that we did on Friday. So wanted to catch everybody up. Last Wednesday, there was a 911 call. There was a reported multiple gunshots were heard over in the OB2 area. Someone called 911. The DES was also notified, and the whole campus went into lockdown. Subsequently, law enforcement came out. WSP was here and investigated. As it turned out, there is no evidence that there were any gunshots fired. We're still not exactly clear what happened, but it turned out to be a great rehearsal and a practice event. We did do a debrief. We learned a lot from that event, and I think it's safe to say that in addition to the run, hide, fight training that we did in February, you can expect that we're going to continue to focus on training and making sure that we are keeping everybody in 1500 Jefferson and all of our government employees safe. So you can expect that we'll take the lessons learned from last week and apply them to future trainings going forward. A couple other things to bring up. We have a team of 3 or 4 people who are currently in Washington, D.C. It's not well known, but about 3 weeks ago, the Office of Management and Budget, which is basically OFM for the White House, the OMB came out to Washington and spent 3 days here, hosted by Cammie Webster and Derek Puckett, who showed them what Washington is doing with technology business management. We not only showed them our implementation at WaTech, but we also brought them around to talk to a handful, I think 4 or 5 different agencies. And as a result, they were so impressed, they asked us to come back to Washington, D.C. and give more of OMB some details of how we're implementing technology business management in the state, and generally get involved in one of the White House's 10 big technology projects. So congratulations to Derek and Cammie. It's pretty exciting to be invited to the White House. Also wanted to acknowledge some great work that the web team did. Recently we got a call from Ross Hunter, the new director for the Department of Children, Youth, and Families, the new department that got created when the budget passed a couple weeks ago. And they asked us to pull out all the stops and get their web presence ready for the big announcement. So Wendy Wickstrom's team dove into action, created a brand new website in less than 2 days. We also got a new web domain up for them, created new email accounts, and so Director Hunter could pass out business cards with DYCF at wa.gov within 3 or 4 days of the law passing. So great example of mobilizing quickly and working as a team. Thank you for everybody that delivered on that. Lastly, I just wanted to give you a quick budget update. As I think most people know, the operating budget has passed. It's done. The capital budget has not yet passed. The current state of that is that they passed what they call the reappropriations budget, which did reappropriation of all existing capital projects, but it hasn't funded any new projects. The legislature is still working on that. The expectation from the governor's office is that we will get a capital budget passed before the end of this last special session, but please have some sensitivity around that. There are about 200 to 300 of your colleagues, other state employees, that whose job that budget is paying for, and so we're hoping the legislature will see fit to get that budget passed. As it relates to WaTech and the operating budget, I sent out some email when the budget passed that gave you some details. Couple things to remember about that email. One of them is that the big adjustment that will make almost all of our services much closer to profitability happens in the central services model. So it doesn't show up on that email, and that's about an $8 million change. And so while there are some things about this version of the budget that we were disappointed in, there were also some great things that are going to help WaTech. And the finance people and the executive team are still pouring through the budget to see how we need to respond. But we are happy that we avoided the government shutdown and got a few really key structural changes to the way our finances are working. So I'm sure you all have a lot of questions, both about the budget and what's going on with the legislature and what's happening at WaTech. For future video updates, please send any questions that you have to communications@watech.wa.gov. And also, please send any big wins that you and your team have done. We really want to work to acknowledge all the great work that WaTech is doing, and this is a good opportunity to do that. So thank you. Love to hear feedback on the first installation of the video update.